And oh, the Bearcats go. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett here on the Pilot Point Bearcat Football Show, brought to you by iRick Real Estate, right here on L4 Media. As Pilot Point gets a huge first win of the district season in this district, it is so important to go 1-0 because it puts you already one step above half the district. And this is a tough district. And I think this district's tougher than what people thought. Maybe even us on sideline to sideline, we when we did our toughest rankings for district, we had it as an honorable mention, I think. Maybe it should have been a little higher. And just looking at last week's Pottsboro almost getting beat by Life Oak Cliff, they had a big lead on them, and then almost gave up that lead, losing in a thriller. Winning in a thriller, 52-49. Of course, for Pilot Point, they get the big win against Madison, 55-7. They never let that big Madison big play offense get going, mainly because of the 300 yards on the ground that Pilot Point had. Of course, Josh Chumley, another big game, 114 yards. Look at Garrett Evans throwing the ball. 4-5, 113 yards, 2 touchdowns. You know, if you just add that threat, and we talk about it with the coach, if you just add that threat to this offense, it just becomes that much more lethal. Now, it's going to be a tough one this week. Going into Palmer, actually sideline to sideline. We see us on the sideline. I'll be wearing a blue L4 shirt and a hat that has the state of Texas on it. You can come up and say hi. We'd love to talk to some of the Pilot Point Bearcat fans, and it's going to be a blast. We're excited to be in Palmer, and it's going to be a tough one, though. Palmer is a favorite, and they should be. The Bulldogs are loaded this year. But I think Pilot Point can exploit some of their line play, and I think that can make it a bit close game and a possible Bearcat win. This isn't one of those, oh my God, if the Bearcats win, it would be shocking. It would be mildly surprising. I want to take the time to thank our sponsor here at iRick Real Estate, Chance Kirby. Give him a call. Over a quarter of a century of experience in this area, so he knows this area like the back of his hand. Chance, you better know the back of your hand since I just said it like that. But anyway, give him a call, 940-300-6900. You can call him or you can text him. And again, we thank them for being the Pilot Point Bearcat sponsor. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, it's the head coach of the Bearcats, Coach Chad Worrell, right here on the iRick Real Estate Bearcat Football Show. So like I said, we're going to be coming out to Palmer. So if you see us, please say hi. Also, check us out each and every week. We talk 3A football. That's sideline to sideline. You can find us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/@L4 Media Company, or you can find us on pretty much every podcast platform. We post the video of the show on Wednesday. We post the audio on Thursday. S2SGrantandTerry.com is our podcast page. If you have any questions, thoughts, or comments, email us, grantandterry@S2Sport.com. Now, back to that handsome host of the show, Terry Bennett, back here on the Pilot Point Football Show, now joined by the head coach of the Bearcats, Coach Chad Worrell. And Coach, you get the win last week. You go to 4-1. More importantly, you go 1-0 in district. What were your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I thought, I really pleased the way our kids came out and executed, offensively and defensively, and in the kicking game. We ended up, with a turnover early, but other than that, I thought we played really well and limited their big plays, and that's kind of what we were set out to do. And you're right, 1-0 in districts, good place to be. So.
Well, I mean, especially in this district where there's that dividing line that you and I have talked about. We're kind of talking about who we thought would win or not. And you look just real quick, you just look at the game, Pottsboro and Dallas, like Oak Cliff, and how close that was. And man, a upset like that can just completely change the district.
Yeah, you got to be on your game. We've talked about it before on the show. You got to be on your A game every week. There's really not any off weeks, and everyone in the district, I think, has improved over last year, and including us. And I think that it's gotten a lot more competitive and a little bit more even.
Once again, the ground game, a bunch of people getting carries, 309 yards, 8 yards of carry and a touchdown. But also, again, throwing the ball 100 yards, man. You've become a run and shoot coach.
Oh man, I'll tell you, working on those balance percentages between run and pass. No, we're getting better. We're getting better in the passing game. Garrett had a really good game there, and found some open receivers, and we're just trying to get comfortable in doing that with what we can, and we want to be able to challenge people when they stack the box against us. And I was really pleased with the way we threw the ball and executed that.
Well, and that is something. All jokes aside, when we were talking in the off season right before we started recording the shows, you said that was a thing you thought y'all could do better, and you felt y'all needed to do better.
Yeah, we definitely need to be able to have that, threat to when people stacking the ball and be able to take advantage of that on play actions, sprint outs, and things like that. And we'd struggled a little bit first couple of weeks of the season. We didn't get a whole lot of opportunities to throw the ball, but when we did, I mean, it was always something. That's not blame on any one position or whatever. And is a lot of different factors involved there. But when we finally last couple of weeks seemed like we've been able to relax a little bit and execute, and that's been a huge plus for us. I'm proud of our kids for that.
And defensively, we had talked about Madison. They're not consistent offense, but they are a big play offense, and y'all did a great job of eliminating a lot of the big plays.
We did. I mean, we really did. We gave up, the touchdown pass there in the first half. Where we gave him too much time to throw. And, they were able to get behind us there and man made a good play, good throw. But we limited the scrambling of the quarterback. We limited the big plays by the running back. And I thought we did a good job on four, receiver and limited to him. And I mean, hopefully it was good practice for the rest of the district because everyone's kind of got a go-to receiver.
I was just about to say you're going from limiting one offense to another. This week it's Palmer. But before we get to that, you just kind of brought up a good point. This district is stacked with quarterbacks and wide receivers this year.
They really are. I mean, man, everybody on our schedule has a couple of kids on offense that can just take it to the house on any play, and it's really a testament to how deep our district is because the kids, the quarterbacks and receivers, and nothing taken away from the running backs either. But everyone's kind of got a go-to guy that fits into their offense.
All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about Palmer, a game that sideline to sideline will be at. This is a big step. If you can go 2-0 in this district, man, you're not only up a couple games, but mentally it's huge.
Man, it's a huge game for us. We were kind of, just like I told the kids, a couple things. It's a great measuring stick for where we're at because you're playing the defending district champs and the ones that haven't lost a district game in this district in 2 years, and and so we gonna get to go out and play against those guys with a chance to see how far we've come, and they're a really good team, well coached, and obviously it'd be huge to be 2-0 and be to go in there and get a win on their turf.
Well, and this is a Palmer team that they legitimately feels like this is their year to finally break through in the region as well. I mean, this, as you and I have talked before, was the prohibitive favorite of the district beginning of the year.
Yeah, they just with everybody they got coming back, the Cisneros kids, and I mean the running back coming back. Was being a freshman last year and being a year older, and all their skill kids, man, they are super talented bunch, and I can definitely see where they've kind of been building towards this year, and they've played like it. They're undefeated for a reason, and defending champs, and to be the best, you got to be able to beat the best and play with the best, and that's why I told our kids this week. It's a great opportunity for our kids.
Are you in a game situation like this, or are you a big pregame speech guy, or are you just y'all know what to do, let's go do it?
Maybe a little bit of both. I mean, it's kind of judging. I mean, I think if you give that every week, sometimes it doesn't have the same effect. But man, our kids have been prepared to play, and I think during the week, locking in and focusing up, and a build up to that game, emotionally is kind of the way to go, and keeping your kids on an even keel too. Not get them too excited where they can't function or they're afraid to make mistakes, and just letting them be loose and going out and making plays and playing fearless. And so hopefully that's where we're at this week.
Does it feel like the kids are finally at that point where they're the expectation of a victory instead of hoping for a victory?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, this group's gained confidence throughout, last season, and I've said it before, but, even during the track season and summer and competitions and things like that. And the 4-1 start here, to the season, 1-0 in district. I mean, they've gained confidence, and rightfully so. I mean, they deserve to be confident and expect to be in every game this year. And it's definitely a different attitude when the scouting reports on Mondays, and as we go to games and prepare for that, they're expecting to go out and perform well. And and it's been a pretty cool transition to watch that in them.
And once again, I want to thank the head coach, Coach Chadwell, for joining us here on the iRick Real Estate Pilot Point Bearcat Show. Again, check out Sideline to Sideline. Go to youtube.com/@ L4 Media Company or S2SGrantandTerry.com as we talk 3A, 4A, and 2A each and every week. So it's going to be a fun one. Again, Sideline crew will be out there. So please come up and say hi if you see us. I'll be wearing a blue shirt that has our L4 logo on it and a hat that has the state of Texas on it. That's my travel wear. Also my show wear usually too as well. But come say hi. It's going to be fun. It's an exciting game. It's just fun to have, and I know Pilot Point made the playoffs last year and Pilot Point won a playoff game. It was one of the biggest upsets last year in the playoffs. It was awesome. But it's also kind of fun to have a game to begin district or second game in district that you have expectations against a really good team. It's nice to have the program back there for Pilot Point. So hopefully good things will come either way. We'll be back here next week to talk about it on the iRick Real Estate Bearcat Football Show on L4 Media.
We are live. Good evening, Bearcat fans. This is the Custom Roofing and Construction Bearcat pregame show on PilotPointBearcats.com. I'm Ryan Menard, and back in the booth with me tonight, recovered from his battle with gout last week, able to climb ladders and all, is the one and only Chris Nortman. Welcome back, Chris. You missed a dominant 55-7 Bearcat win last week to start off District 1-0 for the Bearcats.
Ryan, I don't know who was spreading that rumor. Y'all got some random guy off Harrison Street to come into the booth with you. There was no gout attack. Unfortunately, I did miss one heck of a game. I had to go to a wedding for my brother-in-law. I don't know who plans weddings during football season. That's a terrible decision, I feel like. But yeah, I'm excited to be back, Ryan. We got a tough matchup against Palmer. They undefeated on the year, number 5 in 3A. It's going to be a tough matchup for us, but we're off to a good start with a 1-0 district play so far. So I'm excited.
1-0 through one game, as good as you can be. Bearcats looking to maybe extend that to a 2-0 tonight. Pilot Point is 5-1 on the season, matching their best start to a season since 2021. But tonight will be their toughest test of the season, with last year's district champion and this year's number 5 ranked team in the state in 3A Division 1. Palmer's 5-0, like you said. This team is loaded. What should the Bearcats' mindset be going into this game tonight?
Yeah, Ryan, we're going to have a tough opponent tonight. It's going to be a good measuring stick for the rest of the season to see what kind of opponents we can stack up against. Palmer's picked to win our district. They, like you said, were district champs last year. I believe this is going to be the best team we will face this year until hopefully we get into deep in the playoffs. It's going to be a good test for us, but I think we're going to have kind of a mindset of the underdog. Come in here, we're not favored. I think we're underdogs by 17 points. So I think we're going to have kind of the underdog mindset and see if we can catch Palmer off guard a little bit.
Yeah, one of the things I've been noticing in some of my talks is with the effort Pilot Point plays with, Palmer's going to have to come to play tonight, or Pilot Point could get them if they don't come ready for a fight from the Bearcats. Speaking of the Bearcats continued their theme of spreading touches around among 13 different players and collecting touchdowns from 6 different players in last week's district opening win. I understand spreading the touches around is easier to do in a blowout. In big games like this one, the tendency is to ride your horses, and we definitely should lean on our horses. Josh Chumley, Caden David, Hunter Newman a little bit more heavier in this game, but I think we should still spread those touches out. How does spreading those touches out really help the Bearcats offense be more successful?
Yeah, Ryan, a lot of the things you just said, what I got here down is in big games, you want to lean on your big-time players to make big plays in big moments, right? But Bearcats have a multitude of weapons on offense. Yes, we're going to have to lean on Chumley and David to carry the load, but Evans, Pickrell, Newman, James, Williamson, I mean, we've got spark plugs all over this offense that could provide a spark late in the game for us, or maybe make a big play to change the momentum.
I think another reason spreading the touches out is a big deal is Chumley and David are both similar style ball carriers. Really physical. They like to get to the point of attack and go forward, lower their shoulders and hit a man. They both can show speed in the open field. But when you're getting the ball in the hands of Hunter Newman, David Pickrell, even Drevion James, those 3 guys seem to be more speed, getting the edge, getting an open field. Drevion James is definitely our most shiftiest running back, number 10 for the Bearcats. So I do think spreading touches out tonight is going to be a big benefit for the Bearcats. But early in this game, I do see Chumley and David getting to their opportunity to see if they can establish something in the run game. Tonight will be only the second meeting between Pilot Point and Palmer. Last year, Palmer escaped this matchup on their way to an undefeated district run and obviously the district crown. We mentioned this as a measuring stick game. What do you see from the Bearcats tonight?
I expect the Bearcats to be ready to battle tonight, Ryan. Our talk with Coach Worrell this week, he did talk about Palmer being a tough opponent, and this is going to be a tough team, but I have no doubt he's going to have a good pregame speech, get these boys fired up, and hopefully we can come out with a win tonight, Ryan.
Yeah, one of the things I've seen from this iteration of the Bearcats that may not have been the same from past years we've done the broadcast is a better consistency on the effort level. Some of the maybe better Bearcat teams that we've seen in the past. We had the first year we did this where we went deep into the playoffs. The next year where we won 8 games on the season. Those teams' highs were probably maybe a little higher than this team. But those teams would come out every now and then and not put their best effort on the field. And this iteration of the Bearcats is putting maximum effort all the time. And I think when you have a team that's capable of playing with that level of intensity, that level of effort, and you can embrace the underdog role and come in here and have that mindset that we may make mistakes, we may not have the horses that they have, we're going to play with maximum effort all the time. I really think that leads the Bearcats to being dangerous in a game like this.
Yeah, Palmer better bring their A game. They better not disregard Pilot Point on this matchup tonight, because the Bearcats could bite them pretty quick.
Yep. Was a good opportunity to get a break here on the Custom Roofing and Construction pregame show. We'll be back next with a look at the Palmer Bulldogs.
Hey there, Bearcat fans. While the Bearcats are headed toward the goal line every weekend, Raceway Ministries is at speedways all across the country, serving and sharing the good news of God's hope in Christ. Want to know more? Head over to racewayministries.org. And meanwhile, go Bearcats.
This is James Floyd, owner of Custom Roofing and Construction. We have been helping folks in the Pilot Point area for over 15 years with over 140 projects to date. We are a local company, family owned and operated. If you are unsure of your current roof condition, just reach out to us for a free inspection. And go Bearcats.
Does your lab want a swimming pool? Does your Maine Coon want that window in the sun? How much space do your horses need? Maybe you're shopping for future chickens or a mini cow. Whatever you or your pet's home buying needs are, Whitney Delcourt at Lake Country Lifestyle Real Estate is ready to help you find it. Call Whitney today at 214-724-1607 or visit her website at lakecountrylifestyle.com.
Are you ready to buy a home? Call Chase Pearson at Supreme Lending. Fast closings, expert advice, and personal service that will make the mortgage process easy. Whether you're buying or refinancing, Chase gets it done. Call him today at 972-559-0952.
In 2014, Uppercut Granite was founded with a mission to provide the highest quality fabrication and installation services to home builders, homeowners, and commercial contractors in the DFW and southern Oklahoma areas. With more than 50 years of combined experience in the countertop fabrication industry, the partners of Uppercut Granite possess the skills and expertise necessary to complete even the most difficult projects. Visit Uppercut Granite showroom at 1235 J.C. Lane in Pilot Point, Texas, or call 940-765-3525 to schedule an appointment. Go Bearcats.
Serving Pilot Point since 1878, the Post Signal is your trusted source for hometown news. From local sports and school events to community milestones, we cover what matters most. Stay connected and subscribe today at postsignal.com.
Now we're back on the Custom Roofing and Construction Bearcat pregame show on what's shaping up to be a beautiful night here in Palmer, Texas. We'll take our first look at the Palmer Bulldogs. Palmer is the defending 6-3A Division I champions. They returned 23 players and 15 starters from last year's district championship team. They have a lot of experience, and they've parlayed that into a top 5 ranking in the state in 3A Division I and a 5-0 start to the season. They're loaded at the skill positions. Palmer runs their offense out of the shotgun, but Coach Royal mentioned that they run numerous different formations out of the gun, too many to even really effectively practice during the week. So, but really, there's no secret here. The reason they run all these different formations is to try to accomplish one thing, and that is what?
Scoring a bunch of points. Ryan, Eric Sixenaris is going to be the biggest threat for the night for the Bearcats. He's sorry about that. He's got 1,700 yards combined on the field so far this season, Ryan. He's got 800 yards on the ground, 900 through the air. He's totaled 22 touchdowns, 15 of those on the ground, 7 passing. So he's going to be the secret to this Bulldog team. We're going to have to make him uncomfortable all night.
Well, I can connect to that uncomfortable feeling right now. Along with the 6'2 senior do-it-all quarterback Eric Cisneros, their main weapons are sophomore running back Sutton Maddox and junior wide receiver Eric's brother A.J. Cisneros. The Palmer offense, Moe, averaging just shy of 500 yards of offense per game and 51 points per game. The weapons around Eric Cisneros give him plenty of options, but he's the engine that makes the whole thing go. You just kind of touched on some of the statistics, but yeah, by himself, he's accounted for about 334 yards of total offense per game and over 4 touchdowns a game by himself. When it comes to defending a quarterback who can do so many things like Cisneros, what's the biggest challenge in defending him?
Ryan, our D coordinator, has probably had some sleepless nights this week because a quarterback like this who's got a good arm that can throw the ball, can pick you apart in the secondary, but also can break, contain, and run all across the field. You kind of have to decide, are you going to pressure him all night? You're going to blitz him and prevent the passing? Or are you going to play in deep coverage and try to prevent the passing plays? Either way, he can pick you apart. It's going to be a tough challenge, and we're going to have to mix those coverages and blitz packages up to catch him off guard and maybe have some turnovers here.
Yeah, when we presented this question to Coach Worrell earlier in the week, we talked about pressuring him, playing zone. What do you do? He pretty much gave us the political all the above answer. He kind of said you got to try to mix everything up. But yeah, I imagine being a defensive coordinator, it's got to be maddening if you've got the men in the box for the run, they just call a pass play, you get your guys out in coverage, you get everything locked up, and then you look back and the quarterback's broken the line of scrimmage and has all the space to run. And that's really where he excels. Talking with Coach Worrell about it is he can really throw the ball effectively. He really is a great athlete on the design quarterback runs, zone reads, things like that. But the thing that sets a guy like Eric Cisneros up from a lot of other quarterbacks is his ability to extend plays and really make the big plays happen on the ground and in the passing game once he does break, contain, looking down the field. So that Bearcats defense is going to have to play with great effort. And one thing that Coach Worrell mentioned this week again, which he mentioned to us a few weeks ago about the screen game, how many screens Howell ran on us last year, and they didn't run a single screen on us in the game. He did prep us again for the some screens tonight, and I know better than to ask you how to stop the screen. So hopefully they have a better plan than you did last time we talked about the screen. But Palmer's offense is dangerous, and the Bearcats are going to have to show maximum effort tonight.
Yeah, Ryan, you're right. I still don't know how to stop the screen. But Bearcats are going to be prepared, no doubt, with the coaching staff that we have for the Bearcats. We're going to be ready to go, and we're going to bring our best game tonight.
You're listening to the Custom Roofing and Construction Bearcat pregame show. We'll get a break and come back on the other side with keys to this game.
For nearly 50 years, Mark's Body Shop has provided auto body repair to North Texas. They offer hail, dent, auto collision, and other services right here in Pilot Point. You can count on their certified technicians for complete collision repairs to make your vehicle look just like new. Need auto body service? Visit them at 1112 North Highway 377 in Pilot Point or call 940-686-5194 for a free same-day quote.
Here at Sideline to Sideline, we love to talk 3A football.
Pottsboro, then Pilot Point, but Pilot Point might make it. Chad's been up there. Now this is his, second year. They could slip into the second or third spot.
Hey, they upset Mahey in the first round of the playoffs last year. We also talk 4A and 2A. So check us out each and every week, Sideline to Sideline.
Do you need a maintenance check or emergency repair on a heating and cooling unit? Power Air can handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Power Air will work with you to find an HVAC solution that fits your needs by providing a full consultation so you can choose the system that's right for you, your home, and your business. Call today at 817-487-2286 to schedule your service now. That's Power Air, 817-487-2286.
Looking for reliable insurance coverage? Wood Insurance in Whitesboro has you covered. Whether it's auto, home, business, farm, or RV insurance, their experienced team is there to find the perfect policy for you. With access to many top-rated carriers, they strive to get you the best coverage at the best price. Call today, 903-564-6469. That's 903-564-6469.
The fans are filling the stands. The teams will be coming out onto the field here soon. And we're going to look at this game, which could be a big game in determining playoff seeding out of this District 6 3A Division 1. We talked about this game as a measuring stick game for the Bearcats, and we're entering as a 17-point road underdog. What must the Bearcats do tonight to keep themselves in this game?
We're gonna have to come out and come out fast. Gonna have to play hard. We're gonna have to hit the Bulldogs in the mouth to start this game and show we're not scared. And their rankings and their record so far doesn't deter these Bearcats. We're gonna have to look to create a lot of turnovers from the offense for Cisneros. One of the things that Coach Worrell talked to us about this week is Cisneros, even though he isn't a special athlete and a great player, he does give opportunities to throw some errant throws that we can pick off. He also, when he's breaking contain, he likes to cut back against the grain and cut back into the field and can be a little bit loose with the ball. So there could be some opportunities to punch the ball out and make some turnovers on him.
Well, this is early in the district. It's a big game. It's not a win or go home game for either. This is just going to play a big factor in the seeding. But that's on our end. On the Palmer end, they're looking to repeat as district champs, and Pilot Point might be looking to play spoiler tonight. How does a team in the Bearcats' position play spoiler on a night like this against the number 5 team in the state?
We're going to have to lean into that underdog role. And, Ryan, when you're more the dominant team, you never want to have kind of maybe a lesser opponent stick around, give them confidence and build up throughout the game, because anything can happen in the fourth quarter. So maybe the Bearcats can lean into something like that, stick around, and like we talked about earlier, the Bearcats don't give up. There's no quitting these guys. So if Palmer doesn't come out fast and try to put a lot of points up and the Bearcats stick around, we're going to have some opportunities with this Bearcat team not quitting and never laying down.
I'm going to go back into our history a little. Sometimes when you're a team like Palmer and you don't play a lot of close games, if a team that may not be as good as you sticks around and forces you to play competitive football in the fourth quarter, sometimes teams don't handle that well, especially the first time. Go back to 2008 on the road against Sanger. Definitely supposed to beat them. We let them hang around, let them get a late touchdown at the end of the half to go at halftime down 7-6, and we didn't really respond in the second half, and we ended up losing that game 7-6. Number 2 team in the state upset against Sanger, and we were able to learn from that and use that experience later in the year against games like Pottsboro, Callisburg. But Palmer hasn't had that first one yet. So if the Bearcats are the first team this season to really stick around and make them play games in the fourth quarter, you're right. We really could sneak up and bite them. And I think just playing with great effort. I know Coach Worrell and some of the coaching tree he comes with, they have a lot of those special trick plays in the books. I wouldn't be surprised if we might see one of those early tonight to spark these Bearcats, give them give them belief in this game.
What's your favorite trick play out there, Ryan? You have Bumblewski, halfback pass.
Well, we were both absolutely blown away with what we thought was a Bumblewski a few weeks ago that turned out just to be a dive play. I'd love to see what the real thing actually looks like. But I'm going to ask you the question I've asked every week. If you look at the box score tomorrow and you could pick one stat other than the score that the Bearcats dominate in and that you think could lead to a win, what would that be tonight?
I think it's going to be Eric Cisneros' stats. Is he going to have less than 100 yards on the ground or maybe even less than 150 combined offense? If we can contain that guy, I think that's going to be our biggest key to success.
That, I think, the big key for the Bearcats might be time of possession, but it's for the same concept. Keep the ball out of his hands. He can't pile up yards and touchdowns if we have possession of the ball. I think time of possession would be a big one for us and give us a good opportunity to get out of here.
That was one thing Coach Worrell talked about last year is we had opportunities where we put them in 3rd and long and 3rd and challenging plays, but we just couldn't get the defense off the field. And if we can do that tonight, it's going to be a big factor for us.
Palmer's out on the field stretching, but before we get into this one, let's take a few minutes to go over some highlights from last week's game, and we're going to start it with the first scoring play of the night, which was a 3-yard dive play to Josh Chumley, getting the Bearcats in the end zone, getting the scoring started.
The next one we got here is Caden David off the right side, running hard and angry there.
20-yard touchdown there. Third touchdown of the game. Drevion James checking in with a 5-yard touchdown run. Smash right. That's all, the first 3 touchdowns of the game for the Bearcats all went right.
Yeah, we got a play-action pass here, Ryan, and Stuckley coming up with the jump ball in the end zone, making sure his dad knows he's a better athlete than him.
Yeah. Following that up, Garrett Evans with a touchdown pass follows that up with a 1-yard tush-push touchdown.
Here we got Garrett Evans making another great pass play to Stuckley, one of his favorite targets coming on late in the season, early in district. This guy was rumbling and stumbling down the sidelines. Look at those breaking ankles against that guy.
57 yards to the house. That was the third Garrett Evans touchdowns, and we're going to follow it up with his 4th touchdown of the night, which led to him getting his Texas-New Mexico Power player of the game. And this is a rollout left that he decides to just keep himself, scrambles 12 yards into the end zone for his 4th touchdown of the night.
Yeah, the last touchdown here we got Wade F., 11-yard touchdown run, sweep off the left side, getting in the corner end zone. And if I believe right, that was his first touchdown of the year.
His first touch as a varsity football player.
Man, 1 for 1.
Goes all the way in the end zone for a touchdown. And Garrett Evans, speaking of that Texas-New Mexico Power player of the game, 114 yards passing, 2 touchdowns through the air, along with 2 more touchdowns on the ground on 5 carries. So 5 pass plays, 5 run plays for Garrett Evans resulted in 4 touchdowns last week.
Hopefully he can repeat that tonight for us, right?
Garrett Evans getting in the end zone a lot would mean good things for the Bearcats. That'll do it here for the Custom Roofing and Construction Bearcat pregame show. We'll take a little bit of a longer break, come back for the anthem and the prayer, and then we'll do the weather and what uniforms each team are sporting tonight.
Looking for a bank that knows your name and your town? Texas Republic Bank in Pilot Point is your local community